Alright, this is Thermal Rain doing another tutorial. Today I'll be teaching peak controllers for FL Studio. I'm doing this tutorial primarily because I need to help out a friend who might not understand this, so I'm going to go through this relatively quick and efficiently as well as I can. But as you probably know, if you've seen some of my other tutorials, I am not teacher material. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do something very basic and simple. The concept for what I'm about to teach is called the Fruity Peak Controller, or FPC for short. So, let's say I want to have the beat be controlled off the kick each time. I want to set a certain pattern for the kick and use an instrument I want to control. So for this instance, I'm just going to use Nexus by default. It's just about what I always use. So alright, now that I have that, we shall go to leads. Let's just make something up, shall we? Jump core, why not? Let's go with 150 BPM. And we just make up a pattern. Alright, let's say that's good enough for now. So, what we're going to do here is we have the kick being basically we have the kick being overheard by the lead. So what we want to do is we want the kick to sound over and on top of the lead, but as you hear right here, we can't do that just yet until we mess with some effects. Alright, so in order to do this, you route your kick to any one of these mixer channels of your preference. It doesn't have to be one, but that's what I'm just going to use because 1 through 4 is the default right now. So, in order to do this, I'm going to route my Nexus to channel 5, and then I am going to take I'm going to put the peak controller in the kick because I want that to control Nexus. So basically the kick will be leading over and on top of the individual VST of Nexus. So whenever you bring Fruity Peak Controller into your menu or your mixer or whatnot, by default it is always muted, so unclick that. And then what you want to do here is you have two choices. It just depends on how you go about this. You can use the mixer to change up or connect the FPC to what you want. In this case, what I'm going to be doing is I'm mainly going to be controlling the volume so that it dips when the kick hits. So it should be going like this. or or somewhere along similar, even though my timing was a bit off. Well, very off. So what we do is we right click and then we go to link controller, and you see this thing called internal controller, and you route your, it says peak controller parentheses kick, which means this is reading the FPC from FPC for short, or Fruity Peak controller, from the kick channel in the mixer, and you route it to peak. You click on that and you can hit accept. Right now, as this will not play properly. Instead, it will be going in the opposite direction. So instead of going down, it will be going up. And that is because of the setting right here, mapping formula. As you see the slope going up, so it's because of that this will be going up this time. So I'll show you so you have a rough understanding of this, because if you don't, you will have a harder time probably trying to figure this out. So in general, it should be like this. I'll change this so it doesn't get too loud. Alright, so each time this kick happens, it should rise in volume. Now, if I want to make this last longer or change it up, what I would do is, in the Fruity Peak controller, bass is basically the default amount of volume you want your instrument to be at all times. So as you see, I move the bass. This is basically the default volume that's going to always be there or be set at. And the volume control under it, or by it, the second one, is the one being modified by the peak, or the control of the kick. So the more you increase it, the more it's going to be the more the kick is going to affect the Fruity Peak controller. So what we want to do here is, I'm going to bring this back down a bit and adjust it. And to show you, before I show you, I need to go back to this right here. It is called TNS for tension, or peak tension, and it's similar to volume in a way, but it's more based off the tension of how hard the Fruity Peak controller you want to control the peak. I can't exactly go completely into it because I do not have a perfect concept of this, but I have a relatively good idea on how this works in most cases. But moving on, right next to it we see that this thing that says DEC, which is decay. If you increase this, it will increase the rate at which the slope will decay for each time it kicks. So I'm going to mess with that, like right here. As you see, it changed, or the duration of it changed as it was playing. So going back to what I was saying before, I wanted the sound to dip. So what I would do is I'd go back to mapping formula, which would be in the link controller. So in order to do this, you click on this arrow icon right here, right next to map formula, and you have this set of basically this list to choose from. You can choose from default, which is basically the slope as it is, inverted, which is the one we want right now, but I'm not going to go into that just yet. I'm just going to show you a few of these other ones. Log, which is similar to default, except it's more slope based, so it's more smooth. We have switchy, which is a square wave, or square. Steppy, more, step based. That's even the smaller version, and so on and so forth, as you can see. Now, if you wanted to, you could manually affect this by putting in more formulas and whatnot, like multiplication and whatnot. It's basically math, so but you'd probably be better off doing research on how to do this. So if I want to, let's say, change this and make it smaller, I'd probably do something like 0.5 instead of 1, and it brought the slope down by a bit more. But as you see, that's how you go about doing that, or changing it to something different. Now, going back, we go back. I want to set this to inverted. Now, after I've done that, I hit accept, and then seeing as this is going to be going down, I want the base volume to be higher, not lower. So I'm going to raise this, and I'm going to increase the amount that goes down. And now, as this is playing, it should go exactly the way I want it to sound. And that is how you mess with Fruity Peak Controller. So, I hope this tutorial has been very educating for some of you that are basic users, and sorry if I'm not a very good teacher and whatnot, but just keep in mind with when you mess around with stuff like this that you pretty much need to have a grasp on the program itself, and as well as formulate your own product and generate your own ideas from this. Otherwise, you might not get anywhere from learning, because that is how I learned most of this. And keep in mind that when using an effect like this, you can branch out and use other stuff. You don't have to exactly link the controller to just the volume. For instance, I could do it with the, let's see, parametric EQ, and if I wanted to, I could bring it to a low pass and do the exact same thing. Let's see, high show. See, I'll do this real quick and show you. So I want to have that go exactly, I want that to go left as the kick hits. So what I would do is I right click, link, do the exact same thing. It says conflicts, but it's basically because this is linked already that this is up here. So I believe this light is always checked by default, but I think I unchecked it because I did something a long time ago in which I linked multiple things to one particular instrument and messed around with that, but I might go into that some other time. In any case, this would be on, and just click accept, and it should do the same exact thing except just a filter. Except in this case, see, I have it in reverse. Seeing as the peak controller is going down, it should go up, and yeah, it's basically reversed. That's all. So all I have to do is, oh no, actually when you reroute it, by default it goes back to default, so you have to go to inverted. That's what I did wrong here. Either way, I hope this has been very educational for you. Sorry if this is, a bit too hard to grasp, or if I'm a bad teacher. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a nice day.